Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Join Terry with Tracer Rounds every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern to hear interviews with veteran artists, veteran business owners, and businesses that support veterans. Catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and MB Radio. If you miss a show, you can listen again on Wreaths Across America Radio every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Tune in to see if you are on target. MBR, giving veterans a voice.
Welcome to MBR and the Tracer Rounds podcast, and I'm Terry, your host. And yes, I am typically on a Tuesday, but this is a Thursday, and we've got a special guest, so we're going live with our special guest. Welcome, Carlos.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you to everyone who's out there listening. Appreciate you.
We're excited to have you. So you reached out to us, and so I did a little investigation, and I listened to a couple of podcasts that you've done in the last probably year, I would guess. I'm not quite sure how old they were, but can you give us a little of your, before you started this Operation Purify, can you give us a little bit of backstory and then kind of work us into how you got started with this platform for veteran health?
Yeah, I'll give you the 2-minute version of it for
Oh,
sure.
no. Give me a little bit more than the 2
little
minutes.
more than that. You got. I'm gonna be happy to, Terry. Sure, we have the full 90-minute show too. So here's the funny part, right? So born and raised in New Jersey,
Mhm.
I'm first generation Cuban American. My dad literally came off of a boat. When he was 8 years old, and my
Mhm.
mom came to this country when she was 14. They met here. Very violent upbringing. My dad ended up um, his entrepreneurial pursuits took him down a pretty dark path. And he became a really prolific criminal. And he really became really good in white collar crime. He was a violent man, but not a violent criminal, if that makes any sense, right? So,
Mhm.
so it was really interesting because here's the thing: my dad never even finished high school,
Wow.
right? So he actually got kicked out of high school, but in high school he had a lunch truck,
A lunch
and
truck,
and I graduated from his high school. My sisters graduated from the same high school. My grandmother was a janitor, custodial engineer
right?
in that high school. My mother graduated from that high school, my two uncles. So legend has it that the reason my dad got kicked out of school was because there was 2 or 3 teachers that were really jealous of his lunch truck. Because apparently he made more money than they did running his lunch truck, you know? And so that was my old man, you know. And that's the life that I grew up in. So when you think of someone that spent 13 years, and at this point nearly 15 years, in the jungles of Colombia, studying an Amazonian plant culture, right? The Cuban American kid, first generation, Jersey born, criminal groom. That's not the guy, but it turned out that was the guy. I'm that guy. I swear,
Right.
hand to God's eyes, I'm that guy. And so, right, that's the irony of it. And so here I am, after 15 years of experiencing my own healing. And at this point, I don't know, over 13,000 people, I would say, I have witnessed, have their own journeys in healing. I can say that this plant medicine culture has something to offer,
Yeah.
right? And in a world where we've seen that pharmaceuticals aren't for everybody, right? I could be cynical and say, hey, who are they for? Right? Maybe, right? But maybe there's somebody out there who, I don't know. I don't know, right?
Mm.
But there's a lot of people that it's not for, right? There's a lot of people that we know that are more hurt by what pharmaceuticals induce upon them than what it relieves or addresses. And it turns out that this natural stuff from the Amazon, which can be a little weird and freaky and maybe a little scary, until you really understand it's just an ancient science of plant
Mm.
medicine. Nothing more. It's just really old. It's 5,000 years old. They didn't have microbiology the way we do 5,000 years ago, but they had this, right? They had these understandings that have evolved through practice. Imagine doing the same thing for 5,000 years.
Right.
It gets dialed in. It really does. And so these plant medicine cultures have dialed in a way that we can heal without putting our bodies under a lot of chemical duress and a lot of impact, from just like the mental scarring that can be created by pharmaceuticals on some people, or depression that comes as a result of it, as some people have experienced. And so this is a way that we can heal naturally. And after 15 years, it's just so exciting for me. So the evolution of it is, what's this guy doing here anyway? That's really fantastic, Terry. What's this got to do with veterans, right? Well,
Mhm.
turns out that in this story, along the way, I have a dear indigenous brother whose name is John Freddy. And over there it's spelled JH, but that's his name. And he is indigenous. And it's funny, but it's his name, John Freddy. And his family's land is in the jungle plains of Colombia.
Mhm.
And we started these retreats for men, right? They were called Savage Encounters, about returning to yourself as a human being. One of these retreats, there's this guy that comes along, and his name is Ryan Carey. And he's a former Canadian Football League player, and he's also a retired infantry, non-commissioned officer. Something he makes a big point of stressing, that from the Canadian Royal Infantry. Right, he was part of Operation Medusa, and he says, "Hey, we should do this for vets." Well, he doesn't know that that's something that's been in my heart for like over 10, 15 years. I said, "Yes, we should. Let's get on that."
Yeah.
And this thing called Operation Purify was born, and that's what we do. We bring up to 15 veterans or military family members, and we take them on this journey. And we could talk about what that journey is later beyond the plant medicine. It's really so much more than that, because the plant medicine is just one aspect of healing. And something that really some people misunderstand is that plant medicine is a science. It's not a religion.
Right.
You're not going over there to be indoctrinated into some kind of feather wearing, rattle shaking, culture. No, you will experience that culture. It will be around you, but that's
Mm.
their culture, and in no way are they. What is it? They're not signing anybody up, right? And they're not recruiting. you know. So
Right.
what you're having is you're having your experience in their culture. Their culture is based on a science of plant medicine. And so
Right.
you go there to experience this and see what it does for you. It's all very natural. It's all natural. None of it is synthetic. At the end, what is it that you get? You typically find a moment where you re-encounter your inner child. You typically find a moment where you see that thing that's creating the most shame, the most guilt, the most pain, And there you're able to liberate it. You're able to see who you've become, and you're able to see things about yourself that don't serve you. And you understand where they came from so that you have empathy and compassion for whatever it is. And then usually you also have an understanding of how to overcome it, how to transform it, how to let that shit go, basically, you know? And that's, I can keep talking, but I don't
Well,
know.
so I'm really curious, because Native American culture deals in plant medicine too, and so do a lot of other cultures. They use plants versus using synthetic medications, and our traditional pills in a bottle, that are in a bottle that we go to the pharmacy and get. And a lot of those pills that were prescribed, especially when the VA prescribes them, they have all kinds of side effects that you don't even want to take the time to read because it's like an encyclopedia of what can go wrong. So to hear, that people are more concerned with being holistic in medicine and wanting natural solutions, because I think that's a really good way to go. I don't like to take a lot of pills unless I have to, unless there's just something I need a pill for. But I would rather drink something. I'd rather, cook something, plant wise, my diet, I'd rather have it kind of raw. Maybe it's heated, but it's raw and it's the actual vegetable. It's not a synthetic product or a man-made product. That they're all natural products. So I'm really interested in that natural way of healing and kind of understanding how you're using that to heal and to come to a realization about what it is that's giving you stress or causing you duress or not allowing you to really heal yourself or heal from wounds of battle, or just maybe from your childhood. If you had a rough childhood and maybe mom or dad wasn't there, or maybe they were there and they weren't the best of parents at that time. I'm just really curious what that process looks like. I mean, if you're drinking tea, then what else are you doing to really come to this awareness?
That's a great question, Terry. Thank you so much. And process is the right word. We start with a few emails. Really starts with a one-on-one 15-minute conversation. And then a few emails, and then we have 3 weeks of live preparation in the group that's going. We meet once a week on Zoom before we even go anywhere. And in that process, there are things that you're doing at home, right? There's conversations that you're having, for example, with your family,
Mm,
because if they're not coming with you, it's a conversation. Most people aren't used to you being away on a retreat, right? So we help you prepare them.
yeah.
We help you prepare yourself, what you're going to need when you're there, what you're going to need when you get back, how to prepare your environment for your arrival, for your departure. Each one on one, right? If you're single, you're married, divorced, kids, the whole thing. We've seen it all. So we have a game plan of prepping everyone for
Yeah.
that departure. And there's also some energetic work. There's things you have to do with, like you were saying, the food that you're eating. So we'll give you guidelines on how to prepare your body for the experience that you're going to have,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
The lighter the body, right? The more prepared the body is, the deeper your journey. And let's be honest, how many times in your life are you really going to get on a plane and come to the jungles of Colombia, right? Like, so,
Right.
right?
Probably not gonna do it, but I mean, I'm sure like game. I'm thinking, at first I looked at it and I was like, wow, I'm not sure about this. This looks like it might be a little bit um dangerous. I guess I'm just gonna say that out loud. I didn't really
Yeah,
want to use that
absolutely.
word, but when you look at it, you're like, is that safe? Is that really a safe place to go? Because Colombia in some parts are a little maybe rough. And you have to be careful where you are and who you're talking to. I would think so. Just at first glance, you're like, and you see your website and it's got a cat on it, and you're like, is that cat gonna come in and eat me?
Oh, you're so funny. That's great. That's so interesting. So it's super safe. I mean, we're with you the whole. First of all, it's Colombia is far safer than what it's portrayed to be.
Okay.
I wouldn't go, like right. Look, I live in Miami. I wouldn't go to South Beach at 10 o'clock at night. There's
No.
nothing there. There's nothing there for me.
No.
right? Like there's no like so it's that kind of same thing.
Right.
And as far as the trip goes logistically, we literally are next to you the whole way from the time you land to the retreat center to back to Bogota at the airport. It's super fun.
Yeah.
And the preparation that we give you gets you ready, right? I mean, that's and the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And ultimately, it's a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
It's something that,
Absolutely.
and I get it. There is a lot of resistance around the idea, wow, I have to get on a plane, go to this foreign country, go to the jungle. That's all true. Those are facts,
Yeah.
right? Those are facts. And when we look at the legend of the quest, it always takes something, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, okay, so we don't get on the plane. Great. And I'm not just saying this to you, Terry. I'm saying this to everyone that I speak to that encounters resistance. It's natural. It's understandable, right? But when we're facing the need to heal, when things like pharmacology is overtaking our lives, it's robbed us of our ability to be present, to be aware. When what we experienced in service has limited our ability to participate in life, or like what we're finding, that many veterans are healing from the things that drove them to service in the first place, more than the impact of service itself.
Really, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
So, in your opinion, or in your experience, what are people saying the reason why they enlisted? Are they giving you the reasons why they enlisted? And
It's
are you surprised by what they say?
at the surface level, it becomes a lot of reasons, and when you really drill down to it, Terry, it's the same thing for all of us. For any of us that lived with pain, that were somehow thrashing out, reaching out, it's mom and or dad. And really there's one that's always the one that did more, right? To drive that psyche, but it's mom or dad. It's always mom or dad. It's crazy.
Wow.
But for all of us,
Yeah, that's
you know,
interesting. You
because
know,
even go ahead.
well, I joined the service because I wanted a job I couldn't be fired from.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to serve my country, and because I thought it was important to me. And I had sons, and I was like, well, if I don't join and if I don't volunteer, there's not gonna be enough volunteers. And since I have sons, my sons will be the one to go. And I'd rather go than my sons. So that was my reason for joining, was to serve my country, and because I wanted a job that I could earn some income I couldn't be fired from. Well, technically you can be
Right.
fired if you mess up big time, but you can't. Uh, uh, it's hard.
Uh-huh.
And then, I had sons, so I was like, I don't want my sons to have to go unless that's their
Right.
choice.
Right. So you just said it right. So your motivation was very paternal, right? You were providing for your family, and
Yes.
you needed the stability and the security. Now, if we had the time and the proper setting, you would go back on your own. I wouldn't be there talking to you like this. You would have your own journey,
Uh-huh.
and you would see where in your own experience that paternal, because that's a huge commitment, right? Like my mom went out and got two jobs. She sure as F didn't join the army, right? So did you see the difference? Like it's a different mindset, right?
Yeah.
So there was something, and then you would see, oh, right, and then there's many layers. I'm not saying that everybody directly always comes to immediately that situation,
Right.
but when you go deep enough into yourself, you realize, okay, oh, those were the things in my childhood. For example, some people will say, well, listen, let's just use the word beaten to not get graphic. I was beaten by my uncle. Right. But when we go look at it and we explore, where were your parents? What was their reaction? You'll find that that beating was significant, but how you interacted with your parents created the impact. That silence, that inability to be heard. It's always there somewhere, where I had that experience that created a set. Because here's the thing. We're gonna get a little deeper now. When we have a moment that separates us, especially that first time, very strongly from one of our parents.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm gay. Maybe I'm joining the military. Right? It's something. that first moment when we feel that real separation from mom and or dad, like they're different, like there's something, oh, like we feel a separation from creation, from the great spirit, and in that moment we experience life as if we're alone. And that's one of those moments that creates a point of view in life. And every trauma and every impact that we have gets layered around that. And from the moment that we're children, when we experience trauma and impact, when we experience separation, that pain makes us feel very separate from God, makes us very feel separate from the Great Spirit.
Yeah.
And then we begin to live our life that way. And that separation is the cause of a lot of our pain because we feel separate from other people, from nature, from the creator, from creation. And a lot of people have the blessing of having uh, a relationship that allows them to resolve spiritually. But then there's still the psychological impacts of childhood. There's still the physical trauma. There's a great book called The Body Keeps the Score, and scientifically it's proven that even though we have the blessings of we might have a faith that liberates us, there are things in the body that still need healing, else we wouldn't have doctors, we wouldn't have massage therapists, we wouldn't have acupuncture.
Right.
So just like we have all these modalities, we have these plants that the creator left that we can take to go inside of us and help
Mhm.
us purge and liberate those memories that are in us at the cellular level. It's a beautiful thing.
I really I'm resonating with what you're saying. I really appreciate you're talking about a holistic approach to wellness, because if you do a certain component, that's just only one part of it. And if you don't follow it up with any other types of wellness, um, you know, if the journey doesn't include mental health, if it doesn't include your diet, if it doesn't include exercise, if it doesn't include things that make you healthy and make you a whole person again, you're only fixing one part of it, and
That's
that's
right.
and that's not going to be sustainable. That just fixing one thing isn't going to fix the situation. It has to be a holistic approach to fix the whole person, or there's not really recovery, or there's not really a whole renewing of the person without that, I don't think. So we need to take a quick break, but I was going to play for the break. I was going to play your interview, the interview that was done with the founder of Grunt Style. Is it okay if I play that?
Absolutely, Terry. Let's go.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I'll play that and then we'll be back and then we'll talk about the timing of when you're going back to Colombia, and then if somebody could still jump on board if there's still time, because I know you're kind of pressing the threshold of 3 weeks, because you say you kind of tap in beforehand and then after the fact. So I want to know still if people can join the journey and if they can still get on board. But we'll play this first and we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
First time you connected with ayahuasca?
I met myself, and that person stood in front of me, and I hated everything that I saw in that person. I've seen it save my wife, save my life. Within the last 4 years, like the plant-based medicine is exploding across the globe. Grunt Style Foundation has partnered with Operation Purify. I personally talked to several people that have gone through it. Members of our staff have benefited from it.
3-week online preparation with 2-week experience in the jungle. We do a lot more than just drink plant medicine. There are 4 Yahe ceremonies, workshops, other ceremonies, other rituals. There's time by the fire. And then when you come home, you're not alone. We have 5 weeks of live integration that we do together online. The way that begins is you go to operationpurify.com and you just book a call.
And we're back on the Tracer Rounds podcast, and you saw kind of an introduction to what the Operation Purify is. And this is my guest, Carlos. So Carlos, kind of explain that video a little bit, and then how Grunt Style was a part of this journey, and kind of maybe what you saw out of that, his experience. I mean, I'm not wanting you to get into details that are privileged, but I just mean operationally, how successful do you feel like his journey was? He's talking like he really came to a realization during his journey. So I'm really kind of curious of your feedback on that.
Wow. We love our people at Grunt Style Foundation and at Grunt Style. They are pillars in healing for veterans. Love what they do. Love to be a part of this journey with them. So they had a few people from Grunt Style Foundation come down, and a few people from Irreverent Warriors come down. And it's like I was saying before, Terry, that healing experience, while it's unique for you, it's unique for me, it's unique for all of us. There are general things that happen. There's parts of us that release shame, right? Because shame is until a lot of shame is unaddressed. It's unspoken. It's I've released things that I haven't thought about in 20 years, but
Yeah.
they're there in the subconscious, right? And it's a little grain of sand in a very fine machine. So it must be addressed at some point in time, or it will impede function.
Yeah.
And so that's the journey, right? It's about removing the things that are holding you back, that are impeding you from functioning and flourishing in your highest self. And that's been the journey time and time again. This is why we keep coming back to it. This is, I don't do this for financial gain. This isn't my jam. This isn't my hustle. This is my passion, right? This is like my
Yeah.
purpose. Like I love doing this. And the reason I love doing it is because if you look through my eyes, you see thousands and thousands and thousands of people. You see Christians, you see Mormons, you see Buddhists, you see atheists, you see transcendentalists, over and time again, yogis, breath work. I mean, people from all walks of life, cocktail waitresses, executives, military. I mean, it's just I can't. Everyone, pilots. I mean, we've done underwater. The demolition guys that do underwater work. I mean, rock stars. Like every gamut of life.
Wow.
I've seen it's thousands and thousands of people, and I've seen them heal and heal and heal and heal from things that they didn't even know they had, and like things that happened to their ancestors that they were able to let go of, that they were I mean, it's just so dynamic, and it's so powerful, and it's so real that I love doing this because I love watching how explosive the healing is in people's lives. And really, all you're doing is you're eating a little certain way, like you said, it's little steps. It's a holistic approach, but with little steps, nothing overwhelming, right? Just a
Right.
few attunements to your diet to get the body ready, a few attunements to the things that you should be watching or consuming to get the mind ready. We suggest, if you don't exercise, some light walks to start, but if you don't want to move around till you get there, that's fine, right? Then we get there. Then we're in nature. We prepare. We have these plant saunas where we sit in the steam of different plants, and we have plant baths, and we have time by the fire, and we have consultations, and we eat amazing food, and we have a pool, right? And there's this return to nature before we even drink plant medicine. Out of
Mhm.
the 2 weeks that is this journey, there's only 4 plant medicine ceremonies. The rest of the time are other forms of healing through music, through weaving, through talking, through silence, through being in nature. It's an amazing experience. It's a coming home. You really come home to yourself. It's so beautiful. And that's why we do it, because we love it. We love delivering this. And then after the 2 weeks, you're with us for 5 more weeks, which are really spread out. But ultimately, it's 5 meetings online that you have to help you integrate everything, to make it real, to make it practical, to make it not overwhelming, right? Like, so you put it into
Yeah.
things you can accomplish, goals, little steps. Because that's the truth. There's nothing, I don't know anyone who's a high performer that does everything in one shot or tries to do big chunks at one time. We all do small things. We do baby steps. Yeah, it's baby steps. That's right. That's how you build huge foundations.
Right.
It's a proven formula. That's why everybody says it. You know, and that's why it works. Since we have those 5 weeks to help you take those steps to get it integrated. And then we have a Telegram group. It's a forever group. I'm always on there. John Freddy he's always on there, and Ryan's always on there. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a once in a lifetime experience. And if you're saying to yourself, you know, whatever it is, oh, but I don't know, and whatever it is, the question to me is always simple in that situation. If you're not going to try this, and what you're already doing isn't working, then what else are you willing to do? Because this is not working. More of it is not going to get you a better result. Literally, the
Right.
definition of insanity, right?
Right.
So before this drives you crazy, because we've all been in some sort of pain, that, I mean, it's things that don't let you sleep, right? It drives you mad. So if this isn't working and you don't want to try what I'm talking about, that's fine. But then what are you willing to go for? Because something has to change. So if
Right.
not this, then what? And if not now, then when? A month from now? 2 months from now? 3 months from now? I remember when I had intense neck pain, and I was going to work through it, and I was going to work through it. Well, I got to the point that I was sleeping 2.5 hours a night, and literally the rest of the night I was in this chair because it was the only position that my
Yeah.
body could rest in. So I had to
Right.
take my ass to a chiropractor and then find out, like, wow, you should have come in 3 months ago. It would have been a lot better.
Right.
Like, not now, when, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So that's the question. And if people can come, yeah, we're open for business November 8th to the 22nd. And here's the thing. We do have 3 spots left, and this is the first time that we're doing veterans and military family members. So, mother, daughter, father, son, husband, wife, brother, sister, um, and the way that we work is the program is $2,750 plus your flights. But we have amazing angel sponsors that work with us, that support us. And so, because of these sponsors this year, the veterans are paying $800 for the program plus their flights. So, thanks to our sponsors, that happened this year for the veterans. So that's the offer that's on the table, and for the military families. And it's not very hard to get the scholarship. All you have to do is raise your hand, qualify under the requirements of being a veteran or a military family member, and you get the scholarship. Like, you've got the passport, you're willing to go. You've got the scholarship. Let's go. And the reason we will never make it 100%, 100%, because we've done that in the past, and we found that when everything is paid for, there's a certain value that's lost, and the healing doesn't anchor. Because there's no skin in the game.
Right. I was going to say exactly the same thing. If somebody doesn't have something invested in it, then they're probably not taking it as seriously as they need to in order to make it a real impact and a real difference.
Yeah, yeah, that's 100% true. That's 100% true. So that's where we're at this year, Terry. That's where we're at.
So if someone wants to go, how would they best contact you to find out more information or to
Yeah,
apply for the scholarship? What would they need to do?
that's super simple. Here's the only thing I'm gonna ask whoever's listening. If you're ready to go, thinking about going, not sure you want to go, or you're just moderately not even interested but kind of curious, anything under those umbrellas, just book the free call at operationpurify.com. Operationpurify.com. You go there, right in the upper right hand corner, it's going to be a green little box. You click that, it's going to take you to the bottom of the screen. You fill out the form, you pick the time you're available, and that's going to put you in touch with Ryan Carey, who I was speaking to you about before, co founder of this amazing journey and program. And you'll talk to him for 15 minutes or less, and then you'll know. You'll know if this is for you. You'll know if you want to jump in on the one we have now and take one of the 3 spots that are left, or if you want to come in at a later date, you just want to keep in touch. But you'll know things, right? You'll have
Yeah.
specific questions about your health, about your condition, about your family, and Ryan will answer those questions, right? You have general questions, and he'll answer those questions too. He's been with us for years, and many times in the jungle, and a beautiful man. And if you want to speak to me, just let Ryan know, and he knows that I'm fully available to you, and he'll help you get in touch with me, and we'll make that happen. And if you just want to see, more of my musings, and you can check out Carlos Duran live on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, but more Instagram live, and YouTube. Go to IG, go to Instagram. I'm there at Carlos Duran live.
So how many do you typically take? How many is usually included in this journey at one time?
That's a great question, Terry. Thank you so much. It's 15. We'll take 15 individuals at one time. We keep it nice and small. Everybody gets a lot of one-on-one attention. It's it's so special. Like it's so beautiful, right? So it's a small group. Oh, and that's another huge thing, that return to tribe. You really connect with these people, and they connect with you, and you get that back, right? And then that's a big missing for a lot of us, especially for a lot of veterans, more than other people miss tribe. But
Yes.
people in general need tribe, and to be in the jungle, and you have this program, and you go through it together, and then you have that opportunity to stay in touch. And a lot of our people do, they stay in touch, and a little bit of that tribe comes back.
Yeah, well, when you have an experience with somebody that's really profound, you tend to, want to gravitate back to that person that experienced it along with you, maybe, or alongside you, maybe not with you, but alongside you. So it's just like the military experiences, like you talked about, having a sense of community and being engaged with those like-minded people. Your soul rests well when you're with people that understand you, and so somebody that's on that journey would understand what you've been through and where you've been, and you can resonate with, the healing and with the process and just with the experience in general, I think.
Amazing, Terry. That's 100% right. That's absolutely right. Yes.
So if someone were to go and they get on the plane and they get off in Colombia and they get off in Bogota and they're taken to this farm, what's a like a typical day look like, and where do they sleep? Because they may be worried that they're sleeping in some kind of um, crazy environment. But if it's military, I mean, they may be like, oh, we're going to go back and we're going to be, out in the field and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, it's super comfortable. So we've done it's an interesting thing that my brother John Freddy's created. Okay. So it's a traditional palm roof housing
Okay.
with with no windows. It's open. It's open air, right?
Okay.
But with modification. So there's a high there's like a little bit less than waist high brick wall. When it rains, it has these plastic roll downs, right? So but the breeze that you get there at night is amazing. And we have these beautiful mosquito nets that sometimes you need, sometimes you don't, but they're there on these really comfortable mattresses. And so most of the nights you're sleeping, we have these big ceiling fans, so you're sleeping as close as you can to be under the stars. You feel it. You can see as you look around you the sky and the stars, and you feel the breeze, and you see the palm trees swaying in the distance, and it's amazing. It's just an
Mm.
amazing experience, and you're there. Um, and the first day is one thing, but day 4 and 5, when you really start landing and you really start locking in, that's when the magic really starts happening.
That's awesome. It sounds really wonderful. I mean, it makes you want to go. You're very good. You've got a good sales pitch, and I know it's not a sales pitch. I know it's you. You're just meant to help
Oh,
people, but I mean, your whole I guess, description of how it is and what it is. It's very moving, and it really like wants you gravitate towards wanting to go, even if you're a little on the fence and you're a little scared about maybe, pulling the trigger on it and saying, yeah, take me, let's go, let's try it. But veterans are very adventurous anyway, typically speaking. If they weren't, they wouldn't be they wouldn't be in the military, I don't think, because we all have a sense of adventure and a sense of the unknown. Let's go get it, let's go find it, let's figure out how we go on this journey. So I think targeting veterans to go on a journey like this isn't really such a hard sell. Do you find it a hard sell for veterans?
well, first, thank you so much for being so kind. I part of my healing process has been working on transparency. And as a Cuban from Jersey, I might be a better salesman than I lead on to be. But but the intention is the same. And as my wise teacher Gary Halbert once said, Carlos, do you know the difference between a great conman and a great salesman? And I said, no, Gary, what is it? He goes, a salesman delivers. And that's me. I promise you that I am under promising just to set you up for an over delivery. So if what I'm saying sounds good and I'm telling you I'm under promising, you can imagine how good it really is in the end. And so veterans is like herding cats. Yeah, I can't imagine a harder group of it, there is something for everything with veterans. Oh my God, I love me my veterans. The fact that most veterans don't have a passport blows my mind. I can just leave it at that. How what's don't you want to when if you need to bug out, don't you want to have that ready? I mean, no, okay. So getting helping veterans get a passport has become a part-time volunteer a full-time volunteer job.
That's funny. Well, in the military, they get you a military passport. So you're like, you don't really need your own unless they want you to go under a blue passport. So a lot of veterans don't have it just because the military already provides the official one. And that's the one you need to go travel and do the overseas stuff you need to do if you're on a diplomatic type journey. But so for them to get their own and go do the legwork to get your own passport, maybe is for some a bridge too far. They're like, what do I need that for? I've got the
Yeah.
military passport. I'm good.
So yeah, so it's always interesting, but everything is what do I love about working with veterans is the commitment. It's the warrior commitment. Every veteran, and I see it in the guys that were medics. I see it in the women that were part of the Air Force. I don't know if there's a job. I don't know if there's a job in the military that somewhere inside that person there isn't a warrior heart. But I know that when they come to these veterans retreat, everyone has a commitment to heal. They're not fucking around. They really want to heal.
Yeah.
They really want it. Like they really want it. And that, we deal with civilians and veterans and you get civilians that really want it. And but veterans, it's the whole group. Like nobody came there because they didn't understand the mission.
Right.
Like it's so clear, like it's so different. It's night and day. Because we run them back to back. Sometimes we'll do a group of men and then we'll do a group of veterans, and it's night and day. Like the mission is clear. We're here to heal. Tell us what the fuck we need to do, and we're gonna do it. Right? These
Right.
other guys are like, well, is it optional? You came all the way to Colombia for options, or you came to follow instruction and heal? I'm so
Right.
confused. That confusion doesn't exist with veterans.
Right. Give us
Don't.
the op order. Tell us where to be, what time we're there. We got this.
That's it. That's it. That's all that's required. And do you know how easy that makes helping people? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really facilitates the healing.
sure
So I
does.
love that. Yes, ma'am.
I could see that. That makes perfect sense. But I'm really hopeful for a lot of people to take advantage of this type of therapy because I really feel like what you're telling me is going to make a lasting impression and a lasting solution maybe to some of their life's issues, like you said, because of a deep hurt they didn't realize they had maybe, or maybe they do realize they had it, but they didn't know how to heal it. And so this is a way to do that and really come on the other side and really be successful in your journey of realizing who you are, as you said in the beginning, and who you can become. Once you're in that awareness that I'm good now, I've taken care of all this back stuff. I don't carry the suitcase with me anymore. I've left it in Colombia. And so now I'm free to celebrate who I am today.
Amen. That is it. That's exactly it. Terry, you said it perfectly. I left the suitcase in Colombia. I am free.
Amen. I love that. So I'm anxious for people to actually jump on this journey. So I hope those spots fill up for you, so that you can take these veterans or family members on this journey of awareness and healing. Because like you said, first of all, it is an awareness, and then it is a healing that comes out of that awareness. So, so let me ask you this. And when you talk to these veterans sometimes down the road, or these people that have been on this journey, are you finding that they're still sticking with
Oh yeah.
their solution, or their fix, or they're progressing in their lives as you would expect after they've been kind of
Mm.
made to this awareness of healing and hope?
Well, the word expect, I don't, I have learned to forego all expectations.
Right. Okay.
You know, I went from dialing the dial down to just not having it at all. It's completely, the expectation dial is off.
Yeah.
That said, yes, the majority of both veterans and civilians that give themselves an opportunity to have an immersed retreat with plant medicine um, will find that it sticks. You have to do what you're talking about, though, Terry, right? You have to apply it, and you
Yeah.
have to look at your life in a complete way, right?
Right.
And because one thing will lead you to another, will lead you to another, will lead you to another.
Right.
Right. This is just the beginning. It's not. It's very miraculous to me that you can drink a tea that's made of a bark from a vine and a leaf and have a life-changing experience. Right. That to me is a miracle. To me, it's a miracle of God. God, in the infinite wisdom of our Creator, gave us this bark and this tea,
Mhm.
and then the knowledge on how to just brew it and drink it, and because it's random. It's not like they grow next to each other.
That's interesting.
Right? It's not like someone said, "Oh, look at that vine and look at that leaf." No, they don't grow anywhere near each other. Like it's different. Like a little soil has to be different. It's different. So they can grow like within a couple 100 feet or whatever, but they don't like they're not buddies. The leaf and the vine aren't buddies. But they're great friends. But
Yeah.
they don't grow next to each other. So how does that get discovered? And so of course, so then you see where the hand of the creator is in this whole evolution, and you see, okay, this is a natural thing and I drink it, but it's not magic. It's not a magical solution. This is not for the person that thinks, oh, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna drink this brew, I'm gonna have this healing. No, no, yahe, ayahuasca, psilocybin, whatever plants you're working with, there are not a magical solution. You have to take the actions. You have to listen, I don't care. I had an amazing spiritual teacher. Literally, this guy was so powerful. I saw him stop the rain. He was a Kabbalistic rabbi. He wasn't even from the
Wow.
jungle. He was from North Miami Beach. He was born in Israel. He was French Israeli.
Oh, wow.
This guy, he passed away because he was overweight. Do you see what you're saying before is so true? You have to address the mind, the body, and the spirit.
Yes.
All right. And when you and having this encounter, what I like to explain to people is if right now, whatever you're feeling, right, let's call it you being stuck in a cave. What can I guarantee you is that you're going to have this experience of the 3 weeks and then the 2 weeks in the jungle and then the 5 weeks of integration. And in the end, you're going to realize that the blockage in the cave has been blown away, right? It's no longer there. And the rubble has been swept away. It's a clean exit into
Yeah.
sunshine, and you're still responsible for taking every step out and every step forward.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing works unless you do your homework. I was talking about that today at a briefing I was having, and I was like, all the therapies in the world are great, but if you don't apply them, or you don't do the homework that's required of you, the things that are required of you to make the best use of that therapy, then it's no good. I mean, it's no good to anybody, because it's not lasting. It's not you're not invested in it, so it's just going to kind of go by the wayside. So you really have to take ownership of your own health and your own journey and your own healing. And if you don't, and if you're not willing to do that, then you're not ready to do it. You're not ready to embark on something like this, because this takes commitment. I can tell it takes commitment. It takes, somebody that's going to make those changes and really work on themselves, because if you don't, then what are you there for, like you said?
Yeah, you have to at least be willing to take those. You have to work on yourself. I know sometimes it sounds hard, and And listen, it doesn't matter where your anchor point is. It doesn't matter how terrible or fragile your anchor point is. We got you. That's the anchor point. It's only day zero, right? Every day forward is going to be a better day. All we got to get is enough of those days behind us, and things start really being better.
Yeah, that's awesome. Or we're going to have to wrap up pretty quick because we have another show after us. But I wanted to give you the platform to just kind of talk about the program or talk about anything you want to before
Yeah.
we have to wrap it up. And that way people can
Um,
maybe get a little more information if they need it, or just so you can give them more information if you'd like.
Copy. Terry, first of all, thank you to you and Tracer Rounds. Thank you to all the beautiful people that put this together today. I really appreciate you guys and all of
Absolutely.
your beautiful support. Thank you. Big shout out to our sponsors, Coastal Ketamine and Aesthetics in South Carolina, Dr. Dan Ripley, a veteran himself, former combat medic, and he offers scholarships to veterans who maybe can't come down to Columbia or aren't ready to. He does, in a medical setting, a spiritual ketamine therapy. So Coastal Ketamine Aesthetics out in South Carolina, big shout out to them. QRFI and Four Visions for supporting so many veterans through the Operation Purify program. And of course, our friends at Grunt Style Foundation for all of their love and support. If anything that we've said is mildly curious, like even if you're not interested but you want to hear more, please go to operationpurify.com, book that call with Ryan. You can look at our posts on Instagram at Operation Purify. It's up there on the screen. Thank you so much, Terry, for that. We've got this November 8th to the 22nd. 3 spots available, 3 scholarships are open. I hope one of them is yours. Give us a call. Thank you for the opportunity.
I appreciate you being on the platform, and I know we kind of got a slow start to getting in touch with you, and so I really appreciate you continuing to ask questions so that we were able to get you on. And so H was on the show tonight too, and he really enjoyed having you on as well. So we both thank you for coming on the platform and for giving this information to our group and to our community, because I feel like there's somebody that's really going to resonate with what you said and is really going to be helped by the journey. And so hopefully if they don't make it this time, that they can get on another session. Do you know when the next one's going to be scheduled? Do you have any idea what 2026 holds?
We don't have the 2026 date yet, but if you're interested, give us a call. Talk to Ryan. We'll put you on the email list. We'll let you know. H and Magic Mike. I sat there for 20 minutes and all I did was laugh. It was fantastic. Beautiful men. So grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed listening to, I was listening to the conversation today, so I was getting the advantage of hearing some of your conversation with them, so that our engagement could be just that much more. So I appreciate you chatting with them and then being on this podcast tonight. It's not my typical night, so I really appreciate you
Wow.
kind of joining the journey on a Thursday with me. And so I really hope that we're going to get some veterans that are going to want to join you on that journey and really get some healing and hope. And I just want to thank you for your work because, sometimes it's not a thankless job, but sometimes it's a very difficult job to really deal with people in their raw emotions. Like sometimes things get tricky. And so I really appreciate your stick-to-itness in that tricky situation.
It's our pleasure to do it. My grandparents wouldn't let me do it any other way. Terry, thank you so much for your love and for your support. It has been awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And gosh, I hope to see you down there one day. I don't know. Maybe you let me know. You let me know, girl. You let me
I
know.
will. It sounds like an amazing journey. And when it isn't open enrollment at work, maybe I'll be able to jump on a plane and come to Columbia.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Well, thank you so much.
thank
And
you.
so this is Trace Around signing off.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.